We have a very special guest joining us now. Ramdev Agarwal joins in as part of our Diwali celebrations. Of course, it's been an early Diwali for the markets. We've had a fabulous year so far, market-wise. Health-wise, it's been a completely different issue. But Ramdev, good morning and thanks so much for joining us. The tide has turned quite a bit, right? And as someone was just saying a while back, the human race has survived every virus in the past and this time it's going to be no different. But the market has also rallied a lot. From a market standpoint, how do you approach this big news?
Yeah, good morning, Sonia. I think real issue is this entire. This is very strange year in which you saw the all-time high and all-time low. In the sense that not all-time low, but a decadal low or something like that. So this is a unique experience. You cannot forget the feelings of the fear, intense fear which we had in the February March. And today the kind of greed which is coming in. So in 6 months or 8 months to see this intensity is quite strange. But now the fear of COVID is going away with the vaccine thing announced yesterday. I would say that now the greed rally will start. Low cost of money, lot of liquidity, all kinds of stories will come that post-COVID what all can happen. So I think a lot of stories will build and the greed will rule the market. Like you see the financials. They were the worst sufferers, and today they are celebrating.
Ramdev, good morning. You think we are already not halfway there, especially on the financials? This month we have rallied 17% on the Bank Nifty.
That you would know better, Anuj. Mm-hmm. But I think it's still, except for one or two names, rest all the names are 15-20% below their pre-COVID situations, and so I think it may take a few more months or something like that to go to a new high or something like that. But I think it is the fear which was there, and I think the stocks were just halved or more than 50-60% kind of a decline in the major stocks. So I think the fun of riding the fear. And now in cashing in the bull time, you cannot time the whole thing. I realize that it is so tough to sell it high and buy it low, and gather courage to buy it lows. What we saw.
That I agree. No, I was going to ask you something similar to what Anuj was asking you. You said that now all kinds of greed will come into the markets as a post-COVID trade, cheap money, liquidity. That argument. Is there already? Are parts of the market already too high priced, too much indicating greed?
Yes and no. Some pockets are there where clearly there is a lot of exuberance. But that's what the market will rotate from. In the fear trade was for certain sectors, it was very, very beneficial. And hence people built up whatever is a 1 quarter or 2 quarter event as a, margin expansion of 500 basis points, 600 basis points, top line goes up 30%. So those things now market will come to realization and they'll rethink about those companies, whether they can sustain that. So that's how the market works. There'll be one segment of the market which will be under fear, that will come up now, and the one which was in exuberance, that will go down. So that's the way it works.
Yeah, no, Ramdev, I guess you know most of the shares that you like, you know their prices like the back of your hand. So at the moment, where will you hunt for value? Will you look at the NBFC stocks? Only the gold stocks were running up. Will you look at the L&Ts of the world? What will be your vaccine trade?
Actually, yesterday's announcement is so sudden that I'm still thinking through. The portfolio is already positioned for recovery. This is just a shot in the arm that the process which was on has got a little bit of a psychological boost, because if it were to happen in the next 6 months, it will happen in 6 months. But now there's little more confidence and it is preponed. But our portfolio is already designed for, so I don't think there is a vaccine trade today. Pfizer vaccine trade, I don't think they're doing anything significant.
Got it. So Ramdev, is it time to now take money off, say, pharma, of IT, and put it once again in, the banks, the small finance banks, NBFCs?
Yeah, I know. See, actually, the COVID, my sense is that COVID will leave certain changes which will be permanent. And good changes I'm talking about, like say working from home or working from anywhere. I think it has changed the way world works. And now how much change will be permanent and how the world will get redesigned. So like IT, working from anywhere, and the trend to go from phygital to digital, and in a hurry that you want to do it. Now you want to do it by way of business strategy rather than as an IT strategy. So I think those changes would be there. So I would say that actually post COVID, the implementation schedule might get further hastened, and you could pick up all the orders which you have got. That might get into execution. So IT could be. I would not rule out IT as a kind of a continuing growth story, whatever optimism is built. But other things where like pharma and all, where bit of COVID impact was there, I think that will be. I mean, year on year, it will be very difficult for them to maintain the margin or the sales growth. So there could be some profit taking there.
Okay, so that's interesting. I want to just develop on this permanent change theme that you spoke about. In the post-COVID world, do you think autos will be the beneficiary of this permanent change? I mean, more and more people moving to personal mobility, the fear of public transport, will that increase the demand for autos, you think?
I think that is also going to be temporary in the sense that COVID is not going to be there, so the fear itself will go away. I mean, main thing is that with the COVID and this vaccine coming or COVID going away, the fear has to go away in the sense that maybe it is 3 months or 6 months, I don't know. But really fear will not be there. So the natural behavior of low-cost public transport, all those things will come back. But the real change I see is the liquidity and the cost of liquidity. If we have the kind of a liquidity which is there, unprecedented in the sense that big corporates can borrow at 3-4%, or your housing loan is available for 6.5-7%. I think, and they're trying to push it down even further. So I think that is what is more, I would say nothing is permanent, but that is more permanent, and that will have a lot more impact on the business workings of the corporates. You see the interest cost slashing in this quarter of the major corporates and the cash flow. So I think on a 1,000 crore profit, you will see 2,000 crores cash flow build up for the companies. So it is. I mean, those things might be far more lasting than all the fear trade which was there.
Oh, I'm not so sure, Ramdev. You know, one of the things that the RBI governor repeatedly says is that we have had an ultra loose policy, unconventional policy, and we must be nimble enough to roll it when normalcy returns. For a normal economy like India, 4% money will not be something that I think the regulators will allow. But let's wait and see. See, yesterday what rose most? US yields. They almost went to 1%, 0.95. So would you bet on 4% interest rates in 21?
You know it better than anybody when you're interacting with all the regulators and money man, central bankers. But I think that right now the real issue, Lata, is in my mind is the growth. I think growth must come back in the economy, even if it is at a cost of a little bit of extra inflation for some time. And that's what even US authorities have said, that they will try to keep the interest rate low for much longer till they get the economy back on rails. So we are far from away from economic coming on rails. I mean, there is no quarter in which it is quite some time that we have a normal 7-8% growth. So I would say that it is in foreseeable future we are going to see much more accommodative policy for the liquidity as well as cost, even at the cost of a little bit of extra inflation.
No, I'm not privy to what the regulator is thinking. I'm just quoting the previous statement that they made in their statement that we have to be very careful that we can't allow too much money to be lying around when normalcy returns, when credit offtake picks up. And today, actually, the bond yields are up by, I think, a few basis points. They've reached to 5.9 again on the 10-year. But Ramdev, if you're betting that this is a new normal, the cost of money, are you picking up realty?
I mean, my friends have been calling me. They are saying that the bounce back in reality is for real. I mean, leave aside NCR and Mumbai where large tickets are there. But otherwise, in the rest of the country, I think there is a good pickup in the activity in the real estate. So, I mean, I have no, I'm not looking at any stocks particularly, but maybe we'll play through cement or steel or something else, which might be proxy to the construction.
Ramdev, do PSUs warrant a relook? Yesterday we were talking to Rakesh Jhunjhunwala. He said that perhaps time has come to look at some of the stocks in the PSU basket.
Yeah, I mean they're really very cheap. I've I've not been successful in making money out of those stocks. 2-3 times I attempted and I got the wrong end of the company. So I would be very cautious in what I do, but the values are staring at you, and now the buyback culture which has come in, and I think one of the change Anuj I see is that corporate treasuries, which were sitting on billions of dollars of treasury money, I mean shareholders' money actually, and at times you can say whether it is rightfully so right or not. But I think the collapse in the treasury yield up to less than 4-5%, and they want super safe, so maybe it will be less than 4%. I think it is going to be tough for them to really, I mean, they would not like to hold any more liquidity. So even if somebody is sitting on 30,000 crores, they might continue with 30,000 crores, but the next year they will pay out 100%. So that is what is going to make huge difference in the way stocks may behave. And that's where I think PSUs, where government is asking them to buy back shares and things like that, that can have huge impact.
Okay, so before we end the conversation then, Ramdev, let me wish you a very happy Diwali to you and your team, and any advice that you'd want to leave our viewers with this festive season?
My only advice would be that you remain invested. I mean, again, time and again, I keep saying, don't time the market, stay invested. I think we have wonderful time coming ahead, and nobody can predict, how big it can be. Like, if you do your numbers for April to April, who knows? I mean, we are already, I think, 50.
Oh no. Okay, Ramdev, we got the gist of Ramdev's conversation and the kind of things that he might look at. He said he'll play realty through cement and steel, and that he still thinks that banks could have a good thing going, that lower credit would mean a lot of expansion. If Ramdev is able to hear us, a very happy Diwali from all of us over here. The markets have not given up much. I mean, it's still in the green, and the banks are 2.5% higher. So it's been continuing of the Diwali celebrations. We wind it up on Bazaar. Thank you very much for watching from the entire Bazaar team. Chartbusters is up next with a lot of trading ideas on both sides.